Thank you for listening. This course was created to help you succeed in your educational journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional podcasts, books, newsletters, and cool merchandise await. Let's get started. Cryptographic keys are the invisible anchors of trust in digital systems, and in artificial intelligence they play an equally central role. At the simplest level, a key is a secret value used by an algorithm to protect or verify information. Symmetric keys use the same secret for both encryption and decryption, making them efficient but requiring careful distribution. Asymmetric keys use mathematically linked pairs, one public, one private, enabling secure exchanges and digital signatures. In AI, keys bind identities to secrets, ensuring that datasets, checkpoints, and communications cannot be accessed or altered without authorization. They create the foundation upon which confidentiality, integrity, and authenticity are built. Without strong key management, even the most sophisticated AI system remains fundamentally insecure, because every layer of encryption and attestation depends on these secrets being properly generated, stored, and verified. Encryption in AI systems applies across the entire life cycle, from raw data collection to live inference. Training data must be encrypted to prevent leaks of sensitive information, such as medical records or financial transactions. Model checkpoints, snapshots of weights during training, also require encryption, as they represent valuable intellectual property and potential attack vectors. Inference traffic between clients and models benefits from end-to-end encryption, protecting prompts and responses from interception. Layered use of encryption ensures that even if one barrier is breached, others remain. For example, encrypted datasets combined with encrypted checkpoints provide overlapping assurance. Encryption is not a one-time action, but an ongoing discipline applied consistently as data moves through AI pipelines. By embedding encryption everywhere, organizations make confidentiality and integrity default conditions, not afterthoughts. Symmetric encryption is often used where speed and efficiency are critical. Algorithms like the Advanced Encryption Standard can rapidly secure large volumes of data, making them ideal for protecting data at rest. In AI contexts, symmetric encryption is commonly applied to object stores holding training datasets or block storage containing checkpoints. While efficient, symmetric encryption poses challenges in distributing and managing keys securely across distributed teams and clusters. Key rotation is a vital countermeasure, reducing the risk that long-lived keys become compromised. Without regular rotation, a leaked key could silently expose terabytes of sensitive training data. Symmetric encryption thus combines strength with fragility, powerful when properly managed, but dangerously brittle when neglected. Organizations that adopt rigorous rotation schedules and centralized vaults reap its benefits without succumbing to its risks. Asymmetric encryption complements symmetric methods by enabling secure key exchange and trust frameworks. Public-private key pairs make it possible to distribute public keys openly while safeguarding private keys, reducing the risks of sharing symmetric secrets. Certificate-based trust systems use asymmetric cryptography to verify identities, ensuring that an AI service truly belongs to its claimed provider. Digital signatures, also enabled by asymmetric encryption, allow verification of data authenticity, proving that a checkpoint or dataset came from a trusted source. In AI operations, asymmetric cryptography underpins trust in APIs, encrypted connections, and signed model artifacts. By verifying authenticity, it prevents attackers from substituting malicious components for legitimate ones. Asymmetric encryption may be slower than symmetric, but its role in establishing trust and integrity makes it indispensable, especially in distributed AI ecosystems, where parties must prove who they are. Key management practices provide the scaffolding for both symmetric and asymmetric systems. Centralized key vaults store keys in controlled, auditable environments, eliminating the risks of scattering them across files and scripts. Automated rotation ensures that keys are replaced at regular intervals without relying on human discipline. Revocation procedures provide a way to quickly invalidate compromised keys, preventing further misuse. Audit logging of key operations, such as generation, use, and deletion, creates transparency and accountability. Together, these practices transform keys from fragile secrets into managed assets. Without them, even strong algorithms can fail, as lost, stolen, or misused keys negate the protections they provide. Key management is therefore as much about governance as cryptography, ensuring that secrets are not only mathematically sound, but also operationally controlled. Hardware security modules, or HSMs, provide a tamper-resistant foundation for key storage and cryptographic operations. These dedicated devices safeguard private keys from exposure, even to administrators, by confining cryptographic actions within secure hardware boundaries. HSMs integrate with cloud services, allowing AI workloads to benefit from strong key protection without losing scalability. Their relevance to compliance is significant, as many regulatory frameworks mandate the use of hardware-backed key storage for sensitive data. By offloading operations like encryption, decryption, and signing into these secure modules, organizations reduce the attack surface dramatically. HSMs represent the hardware embodiment of trust, ensuring that even if systems are compromised, keys themselves remain beyond the reach of attackers. For AI, where models and datasets represent enormous value, HSM-backed management provides confidence that intellectual property and sensitive information remain secure. Encryption of data in transit protects the lifeblood of AI systems as it moves across networks. Transport Layer Security, or TLS, is the standard mechanism for securing API calls between clients and AI services. End-to-end channel protection ensures that prompts, responses, and metadata cannot be intercepted or tampered with as they pass through potentially untrusted intermediaries. Regular certificate renewal is essential, as expired or weak certificates can leave channels exposed. Replay prevention mechanisms guard against adversaries resubmitting captured requests to elicit repeated outputs or to exhaust resources. For AI workloads, these protections matter greatly. Inference often involves sensitive prompts, and training may transmit proprietary datasets between clusters. Encryption in transit guarantees that even if traffic is observed, its contents remain confidential and trustworthy. Encryption of data at rest addresses risks that emerge when datasets, checkpoints, and logs are stored long-term. Datasets residing in object stores must be encrypted to prevent bulk compromise if a bucket is misconfigured. Checkpoints, which capture the state of valuable models, must also be encrypted to defend intellectual property and prevent malicious manipulation. Strong cipher standards, such as AES 256, ensure resilience against brute force attacks, while minimal plaintext exposure reduces the window during which unencrypted copies exist. This principle extends to ephemeral caches. Even temporary storage must be encrypted, because adversaries often exploit forgotten or short-lived files. In AI systems where massive volumes of sensitive data are archived, encryption at rest provides a final safeguard, ensuring that unauthorized access yields only unreadable noise. Confidentiality of prompts is a subtle but important concern in AI security. Prompts may include sensitive instructions, internal business processes, or personally identifiable information that cannot be exposed in logs or telemetry. Masking sensitive portions of prompts ensures that only the model sees the full input, while operational systems record sanitized versions. Encrypting logs at rest prevents administrators from casually browsing raw inputs, aligning with privacy obligations. Limiting exposure in telemetry reduces the chance that sensitive prompts leak through debugging or analytics systems. Secure input handling, enforced at the gateway or proxy, ensures that prompts are treated as protected data from the moment they are received. This discipline acknowledges that in AI, confidentiality does not stop with training data. What users input in real time may be equally sensitive. Confidentiality of outputs deserves equal attention, as model responses may reveal sensitive conclusions or proprietary insights. Encrypting outputs ensures that only intended recipients can read them, particularly important in multi-tenant or partner-integrated environments. Downstream encryption policies maintain protection as outputs move into storage systems, data pipelines, or user interfaces. Restrictions on third-party sharing prevent inadvertent leaks, ensuring responses are not copied or relayed beyond their intended scope. Secure delivery mechanisms such as TLS channels and encrypted message queues guarantee that outputs remain intact and confidential from system to system. Just as encryption shields prompts, it must also shield results, maintaining a complete chain of confidentiality throughout the inference process. This perspective reinforces the idea that security must protect the entire lifecycle, not just inputs or training datasets. Attestation introduces a new dimension of assurance, verifying not just the data, but the environment itself. Attestation provides cryptographic proof that a workload is running in a trusted state, confirming both hardware integrity and configuration before execution begins. It reassures customers that sensitive training or inference operations are not being conducted on tampered systems. Attestation is especially important in confidential AI contexts, where the risk of insider tampering or hardware compromise must be mitigated. By verifying the state of the environment, attestation extends trust beyond encryption of data. It ensures that the very platform handling the data is secure. In practice, it is the foundation for confidential computing, where workloads are protected not only in transit and at rest, but also during active computation. Attestation in cloud AI enables remote verification across distributed infrastructure. Trusted enclaves, backed by hardware, generate cryptographic evidence of their integrity that can be verified by customers before workloads begin. Chains of trust are established, linking hardware attestation to cloud control planes and ultimately to customer assurance. This mechanism ensures that when sensitive training or inference tasks are deployed, they are executed only in environments that are provably secure. Attestation thus builds confidence in multi-tenant clouds, where physical infrastructure is shared among many customers. For enterprises relying on hyperscale providers, attestation is not a theoretical concept, but a practical necessity. It provides transparency and accountability, proving that cloud AI services operate with integrity and can be trusted with sensitive workloads. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Trusted execution environments, or TEEs, bring attestation to life by creating hardware-isolated spaces where computations can run securely. Within a TEE, sensitive code and data are protected from both external attackers and potentially even the host operating system. This makes TEEs especially valuable for AI, where sensitive prompts, datasets, or proprietary models must be shielded during processing. Attested entry and exit points ensure that workloads only begin when the enclave is in a verified state and that results are not altered before leaving. These mechanisms build resilience against tampering, insider abuse, or malicious hypervisors. For organizations, TEEs provide assurance that computations are confidential end-to-end, not just in storage or transit. They represent one of the strongest defenses available for protecting AI workloads during their most vulnerable stage, active computation. The use of TEEs in model training highlights their ability to protect collaborative and distributed environments. Encrypted gradient sharing allows multiple participants to contribute to a training process without exposing raw data, supporting privacy-preserving federated learning. Secure distributed clusters running within TEEs ensure that intermediate computations remain confidential, even across geographic regions or cloud providers. Confidential checkpointing guarantees that model states are stored securely, reducing the risk of tampering or intellectual property theft. These measures also reduce insider risk by ensuring that even privileged administrators cannot observe or modify training data once it is inside an enclave. TEEs thus enable organizations to unlock collaborative training opportunities while maintaining control over confidentiality and integrity. Model inference also benefits from confidential execution. Prompts can be processed securely inside enclaves, ensuring that sensitive inputs remain hidden even from system operators. Secure output generation ensures that model responses are produced in protected environments before being encrypted and returned. Restricted memory exposure prevents adversaries from reading intermediate states or cached embeddings that could reveal user data. In multi-tenant services where different organizations share the same infrastructure, TEEs prevent one tenant from spying on another's inference operations. This is especially critical in regulated industries, where data leakage could have legal or financial consequences. By securing inference, TEEs extend the chain of trust to the very moment results are created, completing the protection of the AI lifecycle. Challenges of key security remain persistent, even with advanced encryption and attestation systems. Insider misuse can occur when administrators exploit privileged access to extract or misuse cryptographic material. Poor rotation discipline leaves keys active long beyond their safe lifespan, creating vulnerabilities that adversaries can exploit once discovered. Lost audit trails make it difficult to investigate incidents or prove compliance, undermining accountability. Shadow key sprawl occurs when teams create and use unmanaged keys outside official systems, bypassing centralized controls. These challenges reveal that technology alone is insufficient. Cultural and procedural discipline are equally necessary. Organizations must invest not only in cryptographic tools but also in governance, ensuring that keys are treated as high-value assets subject to the same rigor as financial or physical security. Monitoring key usage provides the visibility needed to detect problems early. Real-time audit logs record every operation, from generation to deletion, creating an unbroken record of key lifecycle events. Anomaly detection highlights unusual activities, such as spikes in decryption requests or access from unexpected locations, which may signal compromise. Correlation with identity systems ties key usage back to specific users or roles, reducing ambiguity in accountability. Escalation on misuse ensures that when violations occur, alerts are raised immediately, and corrective action follows swiftly. Together, these practices convert key management from a static exercise into a dynamic, monitored discipline. In AI environments where keys protect everything from datasets to model endpoints, visibility is not optional. It is the cornerstone of operational trust. Metrics for key management transform governance into measurable performance. Rotation compliance rates show how consistently organizations replace keys on schedule. Audit coverage reflects the completeness of monitoring, revealing whether every operation is tracked. Encryption adoption scores quantify how thoroughly systems apply encryption across datasets, checkpoints, and inference traffic. Incident reduction, measured over time, demonstrates whether key management practices are truly improving resilience. These metrics provide leaders with concrete evidence to guide investments, refine policies, and report to stakeholders. They also make compliance demonstrable, ensuring that organizations can prove not only that policies exist, but that they are being followed effectively. Metrics thus close the loop, turning key management from a theoretical best practice into an accountable, results-driven discipline. The strategic importance of keys, encryption, and attestation in AI cannot be overstated. These mechanisms collectively form the trust foundation upon which secure systems are built. Cryptographic keys ensure that sensitive data and model artifacts are protected with mathematical certainty. Encryption preserves confidentiality and integrity across every stage of the lifecycle, from training to inference. Attestation extends this trust into the runtime environment, providing assurance that workloads execute on untampered, verified hardware. Together, they create an ecosystem where sensitive operations can proceed without constant fear of compromise. This alignment with compliance mandates and security standards reassures regulators and stakeholders alike. Without these measures, AI systems risk being brittle, opaque, and vulnerable to breaches that could undermine their credibility and safety. Trust is not only technical but also relational. Stakeholders, from customers and employees to regulators and partners, expect assurance that AI systems will handle data responsibly. Keys, encryption, and attestation provide the tangible proof of this assurance. They demonstrate that sensitive information is not exposed in logs, that model checkpoints cannot be stolen or altered, and that runtime environments have not been tampered with. This transparency builds confidence that organizations take their responsibilities seriously. In practice, strong cryptographic controls become part of the brand of a trustworthy AI provider. Just as consumers look for security seals in e-commerce, enterprises and regulators look for evidence of encryption and attestation in AI operations. Resilience across the lifecycle is another strategic benefit. Encryption at rest ensures that if a dataset is leaked, it remains unreadable. Encryption in transit ensures that intercepted inference traffic cannot be deciphered. Attestation ensures that even if infrastructure is compromised, workloads cannot be silently altered or spied upon. Together, these safeguards create overlapping protections that anticipate failure and absorb shocks. This resilience is essential in AI environments where complexity and unpredictability are the norm. It transforms security from a brittle shield into a robust, adaptive system capable of withstanding adversarial pressure. For organizations, resilience translates into fewer disruptions, faster recovery, and greater confidence in scaling AI capabilities. Governance integration ensures that cryptographic practices are not siloed but embedded into the broader management of AI systems. Policies governing key rotation, encryption standards, and attestation checks become part of enterprise-wide risk registers. Documentation of key usage and attestation events provides auditors with clear trails of accountability. Security teams gain visibility into cryptographic operations, while business leaders gain assurance that risks are managed systematically. Governance integration transforms encryption from a technical setting into a corporate commitment, aligned with regulatory obligations and organizational values. It ensures that cryptographic controls are not bolted on but woven into the very fabric of AI operations, reinforcing accountability and transparency. In conclusion, cryptographic keys, encryption, and attestation together provide the triad of protections needed to secure AI systems. They guard data confidentiality, assure the integrity of models, and validate the trustworthiness of execution environments. By applying these mechanisms across the lifecycle, organizations address both technical and governance requirements, ensuring compliance and stakeholder confidence. The challenges of key sprawl, rotation discipline, and insider misuse underscore that cryptography is as much about process as it is about mathematics. Yet when done correctly, these measures transform AI into a secure and trustworthy enterprise asset. They shift the conversation from fear of compromise to confidence in control, making AI not just powerful but dependable. As we transition to the next episode on governance and acceptable use, the continuity becomes clear. Keys, encryption, and attestation provide the mechanisms of trust, but governance defines how and why those mechanisms are applied. Governance frameworks ensure that cryptographic tools serve organizational values, compliance obligations, and ethical boundaries. Together, they illustrate a complete vision of secure AI, one that blends mathematical assurance with organizational accountability. By mastering cryptography, organizations prepare themselves for the next challenge, embedding those assurances into governance processes that manage risk, shape acceptable use, and guide the responsible adoption of AI across every domain. Thanks for tuning in to Bare Metal Cyber, your trusted source for cybersecurity educational materials, news, and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.